Good evening and welcome to our variety talk show. I am Suad Asfour. Wafa Shami is my guest this evening. She was born and raised in Ramallah, a city in the West Bank in Palestine. She moved to the United States to pursue her higher education and graduated with a master's degree in international studies. Since moving to United States, Wafa has maintained her engagement in Middle Eastern issues as volunteer. She considers herself a humanist and a feminist and very passionate about raising awareness about her country. She was inspired to write 4 children's stories books. In addition to being busy raising her son, Wafa has a passion for cooking and has started a food blog in which she is sharing her family's recipe that she learned from her mother. Wafa currently lives in California. Please visit her blog at palestineinadish.com. Of course, www.palestineinadish.com, and enjoy her recipe. Wafa, welcome to the show and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Suad.
It's great to have you again. We miss you. It's been a while since we have you the first time. But we'd like to recap, if you can tell us a little bit about your childhood, because you were raised in a small city in Palestine called Ramallah, and it's very interesting to hear about how was your childhood.
Well, childhood as any Palestinian child who grew up under occupation. When I grew up, Palestine or the West Bank was occupied, and my childhood was simple childhood as any child raised in the West Bank. I still feel like I had a really fun childhood because we are a very close community. We had a really nice neighborhood where everybody cared about one another, and that's how the communities in Palestine are basically. Like people socialize, care for each other. So my memories are of fun and fun events, celebrating holidays and festivities. But also there has been memories of maybe some kind of trauma, not the trauma we see these days, but I've lived under occupation my entire adulthood and childhood.
So there was
life.
Ups and downs in your life.
Yeah, and I've experienced care views and etc. But still, I feel nothing like we've seen recently.
Right, what has been going on in the past few months. So how was the transition coming to United States? You know, being raised there, and as a woman, you came all the way to United States. How did you manage with the transition, and what was challenging for you?
I think the transition was pretty difficult at the beginning because, you know, I grew up with my family, living with my family. I've never lived away from home. That was the first experience, but it was a challenge, as you said, and being somebody who accepts challenge and loves challenges in life, I had a goal and I couldn't just, you know, not fulfill it. So and you know, as anything in life, it's just you adjust and adapt. Basically, you just have to put your foot down and decide and be determined and look at your goal, and you know, once you get there, then you feel like you've made it. So yeah, it's just that's how life is, and I think initially it was hard, but later on I was happy. And
being a strong woman and educated, and I know the education system in Ramallah is really good. So you dealt with everything smoothly, and then we start seeing you excelling in life, and
absolutely,
you've done really. You've been busy. You have accomplished a lot. So what I would like to start talking about, first of all, you made 4 books. And, you know, that's big. That's really, really, we're very proud of you in our community here in San Jose. We have talked about one of your books in the past. The first one you made was Easter in Ramallah.
Yes.
Okay. And how is it going for you?
Good, good. Like Easter in Ramallah, initially that was my first book, and as you mentioned, I was inspired to write the story when I had my son, and I wanted to share with him a little bit of my childhood, since I thought he's going to grow up in the U.S., and even if we go and we visit, he's been there a few times, but still I felt like I wanted him to learn a little bit of what Palestinian children are, and also, you know, share with other children in the U.S. And initially, I thought my goal was to reach to Palestinian American who grew up here, but then it expanded. I felt like Americans are interested to learn more about Palestinian culture and Palestinian children.
Well, your son is a lucky guy because of him you wrote this, and now all the other kids in the whole world can get an idea about what you're teaching your son. And your second book, I think it was The Olive Harvest in Palestine?
The Olive Harvest.
So
yeah,
what's this about?
Yeah, so the first two stories are based on real life events, basically.
Yes.
My own childhood memories growing up in Ramallah and what I've experienced during Easter holiday and also during the olive harvest. I just shared my own experience. Our neighbors had an olive grove, and they also had an olive oil press. And as kids, I was involved with them in going, picking the olives, and then visiting the owner, who is our neighbor, pressing the olive oil during the season. So it carries heartwarming events that I grew up carrying throughout the years.
What beautiful memories.
And I think this is one of my bestseller, if I may say.
One of your bestsellers.
Bestseller amongst all my books, because I think probably the name is attractive,
yes,
that people are able to find it. And also the story, a lot of Palestinian Americans and Palestinians who live here, you know, write reviews about the book, and they say how much they enjoyed sharing them, read it and share it with their kids, and it just brought them home. It brought them good memories, and it just makes me really happy to hear that.
The name of the book, I'm very sure it grabs a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Especially we all know that Palestine has the best olive and the best oil.
Absolutely.
I have to have some Palestinian oil every day myself.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next book. Was called Za'atar Met Zayt.
Yeah.
When Za'atar
When
Met Zayt.
Za'atar Met Zayt is basically it's an inspiration of the Palestinian cuisine. And
also my favorite. Also my favorite.
Yeah. So I just transferred or converted Za'atar and Zayt into two little characters.
But what made you come up with the idea?
I think Man'usha Day was kind of the hit. You know, there's a Man'usha Day, and International Man'usha Day, where everybody makes Mana'ush on that day.
Well, every day is a Man'usha Day for me. In my house.
Yeah, it is delicious food, and inspired from that sense, I
really nice.
Got that idea, and you know, I worked on it until we make it a fun story.
Yes.
I don't want to kill it at the end, because it starts with how Za'atar Met Zayt and what did the end of the story come up with. Talks about friendship, love, and it shares a little bit of
love.
What's the common between Za'atar and Zayt.
Yes.
There's some common stuff between both Za'atar and Zayt.
Of course. I haven't met a child who doesn't like Za'atar and Zayt.
Absolutely.
Mana'ush. I have not.
Yeah.
Now, the last book you made, it's called A is for Arab. What's this all
about?
That's the most recent?
Yeah, this is the most recent, and A is for Arab basically is a rhyming ABC children's story book where the character is the story is carried through the character of the story, where she's flying on her magical carpet and stopping by each country based on the alphabetical order. Like we talk A for Algeria, B for Bahrain, and then shows off the whatever historical or geographical part of this country is highlighted in the story.
Awesome.
So
that is awesome.
Yeah, this kind of book is based on my own childhood image of a united Arab world, and also in a way it's educational and in a fun way, because a lot of people, even we as grown-up, don't know the entire countries of the Arab world. So I thought this is critical and important for our, for the parents to teach their kids a little bit about the Arab world.
Yeah, that's excellent. One thing grabbed my attention is this picture. Why do you have it there, and what's the meaning of having Fairuz and Kulthum?
Sure. So, it's a ABC rhyming. So there are a few alphabets that there are no Arab country that compatible with that alphabet. So I tried to bring stuff from the culture. And X here, there's no Arab word that starts with the letter X. So I said, as I said, it's a rhyming book. So I said, X, let me read it. X is for xylophone, an instrument you might use, though not to play for the famous singers Kulthum and Fairuz. I thought they're very well known singers in the Arab world, and it's an opportunity for the parents to open up this conversation and educate their children, not just about the geography and history, maybe some also highlights about
artists and music,
being characters or celebrities in the Arab world.
You are very creative writing these storybooks. We are very proud of you, Wafa.
Thank you.
And okay, so we talked about your book. Now let's talk about your other creativity item, which is you do the blog and the food and the recipes and all the delicious food. What's your favorite delicious Palestinian food?
I mean, there's so many, but I can probably pick a few. I love msakhan. And
I do too.
Yeah, I love grape leaves, ورق دوالي.
Yeah.
And the dessert knafe as probably it's the favorite of so many, and it's my son's most favorite. He can eat knafe every day.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So you are the creator, you are the founder, and you also take the food photographer. You are the food photographer for your blog.
Yeah.
How do you manage to do all this and still write book and still raise your child and still working?
Yeah.
As a working woman.
Yeah. It's a lot of shoveling around, honestly. Like, I'm constantly doing stuff and
keep yourself very busy.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm enjoying all of it. I wish I can just do the food blog and writing stories full time. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, I'm still like, I upscaled my food blog. I did a lot of work to update it. I enrolled in a food photography class, and I'm changing all the photos.
Oh, yeah, you had to learn all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm currently like still updating, but there has been quite a bit of photos been updated.
Good. There's always update needs to be done, I'm sure.
And it's a lot of work in terms of cooking, editing, creating the recipes, taking photos, and then posting on the website. It is a process of so many steps until you see one post up on the website.
And I'm very sure you are very organized. You do time management well to make sure you cover everything you need to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. That's really, really good to know somebody like that.
Thank you.
Now we'll talk about, you are a humanist and a feminist and very passionate about raising awareness about Palestine.
I think...
Tell me.
Yeah,
Tell me more about that.
I feel like we're all on a mission as Palestinians. It's very important to keep the stories alive.
Exactly. I feel like each one of us is an ambassador for our country, no matter what country you're from.
Exactly. So I didn't drop it off when I moved away from my country. I feel I'm so much connected to what happens and what's happening, especially...
Did it grow stronger inside of you after you moved back here?
I think so.
No. Okay.
I think so. I think so. I think when you move away, you feel like you're more obligated. You're more responsible. You have a bigger responsibility.
Bigger responsibility,
to share.
and the connection stays stronger too. It's not like you go and you leave it and forget about it. No.
Right, and bigger responsibility to share it with the people who are here.
Educate
the Americans, your
other
friends,
cultures.
your colleagues, your
Yes.
community. And I don't, I mean, I take every opportunity I can to talk about it. I always represent myself as a Palestinian first. Although I've been in the country for more than 20 years, I'm an American citizen, but I'm still proud of my identity, and I feel it is important because there is so many misinformation out there that people only hear what the mainstream media provides. However,
Yes.
these days, as we see, the social media has been a blessing in a way because it has been clarifying a lot of what they don't hear on mainstream media and what the reality on the ground is. So
what do you tell actually the Palestinian women or all the people how to deal with where we at right now? We are going through tough times. Some people, a lot of people, they are very depressed from watching the news.
Yeah, we are all depressed, and as I said, we go to sleep crying, we get up crying, and we can't get off watching the news. It's heartache. It's painful because we feel like we're helpless. We all feel like we're helpless.
It's heartbreaking.
We can't do anything in before the images of our families and sisters and brothers who are dying in Gaza, who are under
no food,
genocide. Whether if they're missing a missile, they're gonna die from starvation. But in a way, I feel we have to stay strong and we have to keep the spirits up. We have to look at the positive that is coming out of this. I know there's no compensation that will take, for all human lives that have been lost, for the children, for the families. I mean, it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, that will not kill our spirits, especially what we've seen today, that the International Court of Justice, thanks to South Africa, who took this case. Finally, we have a country that really backing us up and standing for us. And this is the first time, probably, this is a historical moment. This is the first time that Israel is standing behind bars being charged for genocide. So I really hope something powerful will come out of it. I mean, a lot is coming out of it as is, but I really hope that at least there will be a forcible ceasefire that will take care and stop this genocide that is taking place on a daily basis in Gaza.
But what scares me the most is when we see students facing discriminatory acts in colleges or university. And we heard of a few shooting because they're wearing the kofiyeh or because they're Arab. What do you say about that?
It's very scary, honestly. Like, I wasn't feeling comfortable walking around wearing a kofiyeh because you don't know.
I start to think twice now before I wear it.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people are courageous and they really feel like they need to stand up. But I don't know what to say to people. I think you just go with your gut feeling, and if you're uncomfortable, you just don't do it. But at the same time, if we're all going to shy away and we're all going to be scared, then
it's not going to help.
It's not going to help. I really encourage people to keep talking, to keep sharing. We're getting into our 4th month right now, and killing is still going on.
Yes.
So, but then I didn't get to the point to say that regardless of the pain that we are feeling, I think something powerful is going to come out of this. I do believe that if you have a right and you don't give up on that right, this right will not get lost. You will
Exactly.
fulfill whatever you call for. It's not gonna go away. There's no occupation in the world that lasted forever. And as long as there's people who are fighting and calling and educating, at the end, justice will prevail.
If you read the history from 400, 500 years ago, these things happen over and over again, even though now the entire narrative is framed and ignoring the Palestinian rights. And that's a little bit hard. That makes it hard on us. But seeing all these demonstrations all over the world.
Yes, that's
powerful. They're taking side with the Palestinian, basically. And should that be helpful?
Yes, absolutely. That's powerful. And that's what people say. They try to silence and kill Palestine, and the word is Palestine now because everybody is standing with the Palestinians. It's unfortunate that the leaders aren't, but the people of the world is standing up and really fighting, demonstrating. There has been occasions that these people are putting themselves on the line. There has been arrest. I hear like people who closed down the Bay Area Bridge.
They have courts to go to.
Yes, exactly. They have to go to court.
Think we live in the United States. You don't think such a thing like that will ever happen?
Yeah, I mean, what happened in Gaza, unfortunately, showed us the true meaning of human rights and United Nations. Apparently, they're just at the door. There's no such thing as human rights. There's no such thing democracy anymore. There's no such thing freedom of speech. Unfortunately, if you don't say what they want you to say, then they do whatever they want to silence you and shut you down. So,
what about the United Nations? What do you think they're doing right now?
Nothing. I mean, what the United Nations, it's really a shame, and that's how I feel. These organizations need to be dismantled. These organizations were established initially to protect people, and they're not doing anything in front of genocide. They're not.
But do you think the media or the narrative are controlling the American mind in terms of being misrepresenting the Palestinian issue?
The mainstream media, absolutely, yes. I mean, if you want to hear Fox News, they just saw Israel playing as the victim. Israel continued to play the victim role all the time, and they don't show what's going on reality and the true story of before even October 7th. Mm-hmm. I mean, they highlight what happened in October 7th, but I mean, there has been Palestine been occupied since 1967. They stole our land in 1948. Both of my parents are refugees. Both of my parents lost their homes, their businesses. They lost everything. They marched on foot, leaving Lid, Ramle, Yafa, West Jerusalem, settling outside of their own wherever they
landed.
Wherever they landed. So it's really shocking and heart-aching to watch this happening again.
It's very
like
heartache,
we've heard the stories as we grew up, but watching them happening again it's very painful, and it seems like it's worse. I don't know, maybe before there weren't social media at the time and we didn't see any of those images.
Yeah.
But what's happening is horrific.
There is more issues that we need to pay attention to as Americans, living in this country. The American people, they need to know more about what needs to be done, more important than just take sides with, what's going on back there, or take one side against the other. What we need here, I mean, how much the American people needs to improve in their life. I mean, look at the taxes we pay. And they didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
How do we deliver to them the truth and the reality?
Yeah, that's a very important point, because some Americans say, okay, we really don't care about what's happening. Why should we care? Why should we pay attention? But as you said, whatever goes there is from our tax money.
Yes.
The U.S. pays more than 3.6 billion a year to Israel, and the majority of the weapon, or all the weapon, comes actually from the United States. Even in this war,
Right.
all the weapon was supported by the U.S. I mean, the first 2 months of the war, the number of the dollar amount spent was just unreal. $45 million.
Trillions.
Yeah, and
More than
probably
that.
now
Yes, more than that.
doubled. So it's just that's how I feel. It is important for the American people to be aware. Money that wasted on war, destruction, killing people could have been spent on
Take care of
education,
the
on taking care of the
homeless.
homeless.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
what I
here in the
meant.
U.S., we have our own issues.
Schools. Look how
Schools,
much
that's what I'm
problems
saying.
we have in
Education is
schools.
important. Health
Yes.
system, like it's just there's so many helpful things that the U.S. can spend the money
Yes.
locally versus paying for wars and destruction of other human lives. And the other point is, I don't think at this point you can say taking sides. There's no sides here.
Yeah.
It's black or white. You're either standing with humanity or against
Right.
humanity. It's not
That's
about
it.
conflict, political conflict. It's not about the war. It's nothing about that. It's about slaughtering, massacring, killing civilians, children, women, pregnant women. I mean, the images and the stories we hear, like, it is horrific.
We don't
Like,
see it in movies.
no, yeah, exactly. I've never seen. I don't like to watch horror movies, but I have been seeing a horror movie every day.
Right. This is never, see, we never saw what's happening right now in
Snipering
movies. Yes.
people, women with a white flag, driving over dead bodies with the soldier jeeps, Israeli soldier jeeps. Messing with even the dead, like the
Right.
cemeteries, like messing, uprooting all. Even I mean, I heard today that they're stealing the bodies, which they steal the bodies and they take their intestine or whatever body parts,
They
and
sell their
they
bodies or
sell
they
them or
take
they
the
use them.
skin. It's
It's like
horrible.
it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
it's just.
You seem to
I
be.
just I feel like when a nation behaves like this nation will never survive.
Exactly. I mean, the whole world now
Yeah,
knows what's going on. But with your big heart and your knowledge and your intelligence and your creativity, I also know that you work for a nonprofit organization. Tell me about your experience there and why did you choose to work for a nonprofit organization?
sure. I work with actually an amazing nonprofit that it's a great cause, and I have a passion to help children and families. And this nonprofit supports orphans and families in 9
Wow.
countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. So
Nice.
it's basically provide uh, uh, a way for children who are left with no families, regardless of the reason of whether they're killed or passed away or in a car accident, etc. The organization take them and take care of them from A to Z, basically
Z.
provide them
Yeah.
education, health, love, care, and from, as you know, we take children as being infant until they graduate from
You
college. It's
got it
very
all.
fulfilling
We need more
work.
women like you. We need a lot more women like you to be within us. I want to thank you so much. We're running out of time. I love to hear you more and more. لا يمل زي ما
Thank you for
بيحكوا.
having me, Saad.
Oh, it's very good to have you again and again and
Absolutely.
again. Next time
Likewise.
you make another book, you are coming back.
It's coming,
Okay,
actually. I'm
good,
working
good.
on the next book.
Awesome. Congratulations ahead of
Thank you.
time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching us. See you next time. Good night.